Most people lose muscle with GLP-1s, and they also do that with dieting alone. Muscle loss happens when you're dieting because your body breaks down muscle faster than it can rebuild it. And after 30, that balance is already less forgiving. My name's Adam, I'm a performance nutritionist, and I've helped over 300 men lose fat and at least maintain the muscle they have. And in most cases, the men even build muscle. Whether you're taking GLP-1s or just dieting down, the difference comes down to these three levers. So your body doesn't care that you're just trying to lose fat. When your calories drop, it looks at everything available, your stored fat, stored carbohydrates, and muscle tissue. Then it makes a decision based on the signals you're sending it. At the muscle level, it's a simple tug of war. Muscle protein synthesis is your body's building and repairing muscle. Muscle protein breakdown is your body tearing it down. And when breakdown consistently runs higher than synthesis, you lose muscle. But the question is, what tips that balance? And training is one of the main answers, or the absence of proper training. But there's something else that most men don't account for. When you cut calories by too much, your training suffers. You have less energy to train and your lifts drop off a cliff. Now recovery is impaired. That also affects your desire to train or your ability to make progress, or at least match last week. So the problem isn't dieting or even the GLP-1s in isolation. The problem is dieting without the structure around it. When I lost 90 pounds for the first time, I also lost muscle with it. I wasn't lifting seriously for 3 months, and probably for the majority of the time, but 3 months, I remember I was barely lifting at all. I was doing what most people do, significantly less food, as little as I could tolerate, or barely tolerate, way more cardio, and just grinding through. And when the weight came off, I looked a lot smaller than expected. I actually looked nothing like I thought I would. The result was just not what I had in mind. But the part that really stung and gets most men, I assumed I'd just gain back the muscle once I was done. It was just that simple. Build the body I wanted afterwards. And it doesn't work that way. Muscle you lose in a cut doesn't come back in weeks. Muscle building in general takes a lot longer than fat loss. And it took me a lot longer to rebuild what I'd lost, way longer than I anticipated. It's generally, I would say that's probably the most frustrating experiences I've had with my own body, besides my injury, but that was definitely extremely frustrating. And it was entirely avoidable. So the biggest lever is progressive resistance training. And most men get it wrong, and almost always in the same way. When fat loss is the goal, the instinct is to do what I did. Dial back the weights, add in more cardio, more movement, and just overall way more calories burned. It makes sense on the surface, but it's backwards for keeping your muscle and also managing hunger levels. Progressive resistance training is your body's signal to at least hold on to the muscle it has. It tells your system this tissue is being used, so keep it. And without that signal, your body has no particular reason to maintain it. In a deficit, fat and muscle are both stores of energy. Your body will liquidate whichever one it doesn't need. Lifting makes sure your body knows that muscle is the one it needs. And the research on this backs it up, and it also backs up what I've seen with hundreds of clients. One systematic review found that combining caloric restriction with resistance training prevented around 93% of the muscle loss that would have occurred from dieting alone. You can diet and lose almost no muscle if you're lifting consistently. You can even diet, lose fat, and gain muscle under the right conditions. But if you take the lifting away, you'll just lose both. And this doesn't mean you need to train harder or more often while you're in a deficit. You need to keep the stimulus there. Keep the heavier compound lifts in. Keep trying to add weight or reps to your key lifts over time, even if that progress slows. That's your signal. If your sessions turn to cardio circuits, or they just drop in intensity because you're eating less. You remove the only thing telling your body to keep the muscle. And of course, cardio is fine. I'm not against it by any means, but it doesn't send the signal that lifting does. Mark came to me having dropped 30 pounds in 8 weeks, eating 1,300 calories, training 5 times a week, and running on empty. Sure, he had lost weight, but he wasn't happy with the way he looked. He felt as if he had lost just as much muscle as fat, and he did. His chest and arms went with some of his belly. Now, when we pulled his calories back up to a moderate deficit, his energy came back. His lifts started climbing again, and the fat loss continued. He just stopped losing muscle along with it. So the second lever is the size of the hole you're digging. The sweet spot's losing around 0.5 to 1% of your body weight per week. At 185 pounds, that's roughly 0.9 to 1.8 pounds per week. And research on resistance trained athletes found that losing around 0.7% per week preserved lean mass, while doubling that rate saw muscle go with it. The men losing fastest weren't losing more fat, they were losing more of everything. Now this maps out to around a 20 to 25% calorie deficit, so 20 to 25% below your maintenance. On a 2,500 calorie maintenance, that's eating somewhere between 1,900 and 2,000 calories per day. And once you push the deficit much beyond that, it becomes significantly harder to hold on to lean mass, even with solid training and a good amount of protein. Your body's under enough pressure at that point, so it starts treating muscle as a viable fuel source. The men who lose the most muscle during a cut are almost never the ones eating too much. They're eating far too little for far too long and wondering why they look worse as they get into it. And if you want to find out your calorie deficit, there's a free fat loss calculator linked below. Dan's a client I still think about for this one. He came to me eating well and training hard. He had removed most processed foods and had reasonable portions. But when I looked at his actual protein, he was averaging around 70 grams a day. That's nowhere near enough. And he'd been dieting for months, but the scale had just stopped moving. He looked and felt flat. His lifts were going backwards. He put it down to age. So we bumped his protein up, made sure he was hitting his calorie target. Now within a few weeks, his lifts just stopped dropping. A few weeks after that, they started coming back up. And we didn't really change his training or go into maintenance. So the third lever is protein. And most men dieting aren't getting nearly enough of it. When you're dieting and you're in a deficit, your protein requirements technically go up. Your body's under pressure to use muscle for energy. And protein helps stand in a way between your body and that option. And you want to be hitting 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of your body weight per day. Multiple studies find this to be the case. So 185 pounds, that's around 130 grams a day. And if you want to consume 1 gram, that's 185 grams of protein per day. And that's also fine. We're not going to extremes here. We're just being deliberate about getting enough protein in. And the way I explain this to clients is protein during a cut is less about building and more about defending. You're at least trying to protect the muscle you have. And here's a number that should get your attention. Research using MRI on nearly 900 people found that when men diet without a structured exercise program, roughly a quarter of every pound they lose is muscle. So about 2 to 2.5 kilograms gone for every 10 kilograms lost. And if you drop 20 pounds without proper training, you're looking at somewhere between 4 and 5 of those pounds being muscle. And remember, that's the average and not the worst case. And I think about this whenever a guy comes to me telling me he's already lost a lot of weight and can't understand why he doesn't look the way he expected. He lost the weight, but he also lost the wrong stuff with it. And no, muscle doesn't weigh more than fat. It's just denser. So if you lose 4 to 5 pounds of muscle, that's extremely noticeable. It can even show up in function too, like more pain in your joints and just general walking around the block even. But again, the good news is that number is not fixed. It changes dramatically based on the 3 levers I've just walked you through. Keep the training in, keep the deficit moderate, keep the protein up, and that quarter shrinks considerably. Sometimes it's wiped out. And like I said, some men in a well-structured calorie deficit and just well-structured program in general can even build muscle, or at the very least, lose no muscle at all. The point is this: weight on a scale tells you nothing about what's actually happening to your body. Even your smart scale and DEXA scan is off. 2 men can lose 20 pounds. One of them looks lean and strong. The other one looks smaller and even softer. The difference is almost always, whether they did it right or they just did it fast. I can tell you this straight, you're not going to be able to track your muscle loss directly without an MRI, and nobody has regular access to one of those. DEXA scans, which most people assume are the gold standard, actually overestimate lean mass in men. A large study of nearly 33,000 people found that 4 to 5% muscle decrease detected by MRI was completely missed by DEXA. So don't put too much faith in whatever a scan tells you. The most practical and honest indicator you have is strength, reps, and load lifted. If your main lifts are holding up or slowly improving while your weight and waist are trending down, your muscle's almost certainly intact. And that's what a well-run fat loss phase looks like. The scale moves, your waist drops, but your lifts at the very least stay the same. And 3 men I recently worked with have been training for over 20 years. We still managed to put on muscle in a deficit. They either weren't tracking their training, weren't progressing their lifts, were training with too much volume or too little intensity, or were resting. They weren't resting long enough between sets. So if your strength is falling off consistently, we're not talking about one bad session, but a steady slide over 2 or 3 weeks, that's your signal. Check your deficit size and the protein. One of those levers is almost certainly off. And beyond strength, track waist measurements every 2 weeks and progress photos alongside that. And daily weigh-ins are great, I actually recommend them, but judge them on a week or 2 week average, not a number on one morning. Your scale weight can shift, 3 to even 9 pounds in a day from food, volume, and water. The trend across the 2 weeks tells you what's actually happening. So those are the 3 main levers. Keep the lifting going and strive to make progress, or at least maintain. Aim for around 0.5 to 1% of your body weight loss per week. And then hit at least 0.7 to, I would say not at least, hit 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of your body weight in protein per day. Get those 3 right and the muscle at least stays. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe and watch this one next. I'll see you there.